To this moment, it seems that the Hyrule we see in Breath of the Wild 2 will take place in the same land we explored in Breath of the Wild. There are, however, apparent differences in the land that we have already seen and have created quite the discussion. For example, the Great Deku Tree not being present and the lava in Death Mountain being absent. But for the most part, we can all agree that this is the same land. Now, there has also been theories and speculation that some portion of Breath of the Wild 2 will take place 10,000 years ago before the Great Calamity, which would allow us to explore an ancient Hyrule and thus explain the minor differences we see. So for today's video, we will put these two ideas together and discuss which locations I believe could make a reimagined return and be of greater importance if we do indeed visit a Hyrule 10,000 years in the past. These are just my ideas, my opinions, so if you think something different, I'm always ready to read your comments and engage in good discussion. And if you enjoy the video, you enjoy the ideas that I put out, then I would appreciate if you dropped a like on the video. And I will be making more content this summer as I have more time, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on anything. Alright, now just sit back, relax, and let's get started. The Typhlo ruins have always been shrouded in so much mystery. We do know that the infamous Zonai are responsible for creating all these structures and monuments, but what purpose do they all serve? Is it a ritual site? Was it a small town? A vacation destination? It would be great to see this small corner of Hyrule 10,000 years in the past in all its full glory and see just what freshly created Zonai architecture actually looks like. But the even greater question in my opinion is how and why did this eternal darkness devour this small island surrounded by tar? If we were to indeed go back 10,000 years, we could in fact see the true purpose behind this location. I would love to see the inhabitants of this location wandering around doing their day-to-day business and figuring out what this place is just by conversing with them. They could even allude to the reason as to why in modern times it's pitch black. Maybe a curse was put on the ruins to hide secrets and deter visitors. Or maybe it was a location where magic was practiced and one day someone just said the wrong incantation and doomed the island to never be touched by light again. So many possibilities that could in fact be answered if this location were to make a reappearance in Breath of the Wild 2. The springs located throughout Hyrule would have to be one of my favorite locations in all the game. They all feel so serene, so mystical, and just full of history. They share a lot of similarities with the springs found in Skyward Sword, so much that it could be said that these are in fact the same locations. However, in Breath of the Wild, they are much smaller, and in my opinion, they are not of much importance to the game's story. This, however, could all change if we visit Hyrule 10,000 years in the past. Imagine that instead of a small hidden shrine, we were to visit a vast pantheon worthy of the goddesses. And with the new footage that was presented to us in the delay announcement, these could also act as a location in which Link must visit to reforge the Master Sword. Now it does seem that the reparation of the Master Sword would take place in the sky, so what if all the springs, like Hyrule Castle, are lifted up to the heavens and when done so they revert back to what they were 10,000 years ago? Then that could mean that Hyrule Castle would also revert back to what it was. Then that means that these Sky Islands from the trailer originally rose from below as well. They just obtained a new form. No. This is not a theory video. Today we're just talking about locations I like to see if we do travel 10,000 years in the past. Get it together, Ace Monkey. But I'll keep this in mind. When making this list and recalling all the locations that could potentially play a bigger part in Breath of the Wild 2, the Leviathan remains really caught my attention. Technically speaking, in Breath of the Wild, they are locations with two of them actually holding a shrine and one of them even a great fairy. But if we were to visit a Hyrule in millennia past, well, these locations would cease to exist and we could very much see these ancient beings roaming the skies. Now, I know this is a bit different from the rest of the locations from this list, but I thought I would add it and talk about it because it could bring some importance into the story. In Skyward Sword, we see Levias granting the hero knowledge on how to obtain the Triforce. For all we know, maybe once we see the Leviathans in their full glory, they will assist us in sharing their knowledge on how to repair our broken Master Sword, or even give us hints at an ancient power that the Hero of Courage once held. Now, before I get into the last location, here are some honorable mentions that I would like to explore 10,000 years into the past. Yes, the Forgotten Temple. To me, one of the greatest mysteries that Breath of the Wild brought to us. On the outside, we see a monument seemingly built into the side of this valley, but as we venture inside, we see the oldest and biggest goddess statue in all of Hyrule. This temple is said to have been built to honor the chosen hero who saves Hyrule generation after generation. But after all these years, we also know that this is in fact the same goddess statue that we see in Skyward Sword. And with that said, we know that this is in fact the sealed temple we see in Skyward Sword. On the topic of revisiting locations from the distant past, if we do see a forgotten temple from 10 millennia ago, I am curious as to what exactly we will see. Will we see a close resemblance of the sealed temple that we saw in Skyward Sword? Or will we go even further back in time and see a temple while the goddess Hylia herself is present? And this is the question that sparks my interest. This is why I believe this location could potentially hold so much story for Breath of the Wild 2. If we do see this location 10,000 years in the past, we will get a more direct answer as to when the first calamity actually happened. Was it after Skyward Sword? Is the first calamity just demise? Or is 10,000 years ago during the time that Hylia walked the land that we now know as Hyrule? So many questions that I hope are all answered in this new game. Or maybe you guys have some insight or theories to share with everyone that could point us in the right direction. These locations all spur my interest and get me excited if these indeed could be a possibility. What gets you excited for Breath of the Wild 2? Let me know in the comments. Thank you all who have been supporting the channel. Honestly, all this is possible because of you guys. So 10,000 thank yous. Like I mentioned before, summer's right around the corner, and with that I will have more time for more videos and to cover more games. I'm excited, get excited, and get ready. I will be putting out a Mario Strikers Battle League video soon, so I hope you guys enjoy it, but again, I will continue to upload Zelda content. I also plan on streaming soon, so if that's your jam, follow me on Twitter or join the Discord if you like to keep updated. Links are both in the description. Thanks to each and every one of you. You guys are incredibly awesome. I'm Ace Monkey. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.